Question?
And Jarvis has 22 in the second half. What was different about him?
I just think he was much more aggressive. Obviously, he gets to the foul line 15 times. We were having our struggles from the perimeter. They were downing a lot of the ball screen action. You know, a lot of the ways that we get Jarvis angles is by trying to give him an angle off a ball screen. They were downing it, which means they weren't allowing him to get to the screen, and they were pushing him back to the baseline side or the sideline side. And we were giving into that early. We talked about it and talked about it. It's what they've done all year. It wasn't a specific thing. And we gave into it early. Second half, we attacked it. And when we attacked it and stayed strong on that second dribble, the sea kind of parted for us, and we were able to get it at the basket, made a couple of layups to settle us down. And then at the end, I thought we finally made heady plays. One of the things that I thought was a strength of our group was our experience. But we haven't played that experience. Until really the last two games down the stretch. Made really heady plays of getting an angle, shot faking. Coach Knight would be very proud of that. Shot faking, leaning in, getting the guy off balance, and then again we continue to make free throws at a very efficient rate.
It had been a while before Anthony had really given any kind of contributions, but tonight his two big threes seemed to do the right thing.
Did great things for us. Those 2 threes were huge because they give us the first separation and put a little game pressure on them. Listen, I want to give Mississippi State a lot of credit. I thought they played exceptionally hard. Very, very seldom do you win basketball games in the SEC when you get out-rebounded, and it's the first time we've been out-rebounded in quite some time, I think since Kentucky, and we were leading that prior to the overtime period. But they out-rebound us, and they shoot 56% from the floor. They shoot almost 50% from three. I give our guys credit for staying in the fight. Just stay in the fight, make enough plays to survive.
Anthony has been stuck on the end of the bench for a while now. What's got him back on the floor?
Just opportunity. I think, in the Florida game, we were really searching. Our front court was not being as productive. I went to him simply because of what I've seen him do. He was a valuable part of last year's team. He stepped up, made some plays. He also led us in rebounding in 12 minutes of action, which tells me he was active, which gave him an opportunity today, and he took advantage of it.
That 4-point play by Jarvis didn't seem like a particularly good possession until it went in the basket. At that point, did you think things might work out for you tonight?
Yeah, I didn't really. I knew the foul went. I didn't actually watch the ball go in the basket. Obviously, by the reaction, I knew something probably good happened for the Rebels. But it was a huge play. Jarvis had been struggling. First half, he's 0 for 2. I guess all 22 come in the second half. Duh. I mean, he didn't look like he had any pop. He wasn't putting pressure on the defense. We challenged him at the half, and he responded.
We talked a lot about having to win at home. It's 2 in a row now.
Yeah, you have to. If you're going to play meaningful basketball in March, you have to win your home games, and we obviously did not do that very efficiently. In our non-conference, we dropped a game to a good LSU team in here on a couple of possessions, very similar to this one, very similar to the Florida game. Tonight we just happened to make the plays. I think our guys are getting more comfortable in the moment. We're getting contributions from a number of different guys, and again, my hope is that our depth will continue to evolve, our experience will show, and we can start building some momentum.
Speaking of depth, Coach, Terrence Smith with solid minutes tonight. Can you talk about his emerging role as conference play continues?
He's a guy that it took him a little while to find his groove. Obviously, his role is much different than the one that he had at UT Martin. He started against SEMO, had a season-high 16 when Jarvis was out with back spasms, and since that game, which I believe is 9 games ago, he's shooting 57% from three, over 50% from the floor, and he's got a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. So I've just tried to be very conscious of getting him more minutes. Moody was struggling tonight, forcing some action, had 14, but I didn't think his rhythm was very good, and down the stretch we went with Terrence, and he responded.
Coach, what did you tell him after the game?
I told him it was a gutsy win. I mean, Mississippi State came in and really hit us with a good shot. And for our guys not to have played their best, but to continue to grind and find a way to make the plays down the stretch, again, shows growth.
State shot like 55%. Was it their shooting mostly or your defense? It seemed like they got to the basket fairly easy.
Obviously, there's going to be a combination of those things. Craig Sward was a guy that last year was a borderline all-league guy. Unfortunately for him, he had the back situation, which has taken him a little bit to get his rhythm back. But I think Rick would tell you over the last 2 weeks, he's starting to look like the Craig Sward of old. He makes 5 3-pointers. I'm sure that's a career high. I'm not sure he had 5 on the season. So he goes 5 for 7. Fred Thomas, on the other hand, who is their three-point shooter, goes 0 for 5. So I think they had guys step up, make big plays. I thought Gavin Ware made huge baskets for them. The 1-3-1 got us back in the game, forced some turnovers, got them out of rhythm. But when they did break it, I thought we were a step slow a couple of times, and they made us pay.
Talk about protecting home court. Now you guys go on the road to Missouri, a team that's toward the bottom of the league. I mean, how important is it to kind of keep that momentum going?
They're also difficult. If you look at it, and I have, and I'll really dig into it in the next 48 hours, but Missouri is probably 4 or 5 possessions away from flipping their record. They lose by 1 to Oklahoma State. They lose by 1 to Illinois. They lose by 1 by missing 2 free throws in the similar situation Jarvis was against Florida, to lose to Arkansas. They have been in every game. They're a good basketball team. There's quality of depth in this league, and I think for the first time really since I've been here, 1 through 14, there are no off nights. They're all going to be difficult. We have to take the right approach. Hopefully we can reflect upon some of our road successes, and my hope is that we'll be locked in and give good effort.
What impressed you about their personnel? What do you know about them?
He's got good guards. I think Kim Anderson's an outstanding coach. They've got continued development out of Jonathan Williams, a guy that we recruited who's just up the road, and they've got a number of different weapons.
How much does it worry you that it's 2 games in a row the other teams come out for a lot and show early on?
What?
That kind of work from behind.
It concerns me, but honestly, until I see the tape, sometimes it's hard after a game because you got so much going through your head when you're in my position. But I thought Mississippi State just made plays. I think we were a little bit slow. But I thought they made really exceptional plays. The pass always beats the closeout, and they were whipping that ball around and had us constantly in a closeout, and then they were making shots. They shoot 54% in the first half, 57% in the second half. They would not go away, to their credit.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.